All right, good morning, Financial Lit. We are going to be talking about arithmetic sequences. So go ahead and get this in your notes. You're going to need this. I'm going to give you some formulas that we're going to start using, and then we'll talk about that. There's a couple things that we'll be covering. So an arithmetic sequence is where the difference between any two consecutive terms is a constant. So when we're looking at this is going to be a list of numbers. And every number that's in that list is what we're going to refer to as a term. Let's see, why isn't this working? So the difference between the numbers, so we have seen something like this. 5, let's not use 5s. So we could be thinking about that as like 2, 4, 6, 8. So if we have this list of numbers, they'll be separated by commas. So this would be an arithmetic sequence because the common difference between that is 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So that would be, since it's the same difference between each number, that would be the common difference. Another way that you could see this is if we did it backwards. So if we did, let's say, 12, 9, 6, 3. If we did this, to get from 12 to 9 would be a common difference of -3. And the common difference between 9 and 6 would be -3. You're subtracting 3 or you're adding -3 every single time. So it can be a positive number and it can be a negative number. The way that you would find this, if you couldn't just see it, is you would take the term that comes second and subtract it from the term before. So that would be, so you will see terms, they'll be called A sub 1, A sub 2, that's term 2, A sub 3, A sub 4. Those are each term, and the way that you would find it is you take A sub n minus A sub n minus 1. Or the way that we would see this one, it would be 9 minus 12, and that would give us -3. So that's how you can find it. We're going to get some practice with that, so that didn't make a whole lot of sense. That's okay. So here's a couple of examples. So if we wanted to find the common difference for this first one, I would take 5 minus 1, which is 4. Sometimes I write the answer and I don't mean to do that. Okay, so 5 minus 1 equals 4, and then that's true. So the difference between here is 4, the difference between here is 4, and here is 4. To do the same thing here, let's just pick two random ones. So we actually could do this one and this one. So we could do 43 minus 31, and that's going to give us 12. And that's true. The difference here is 12. 7 plus 12 is 19. 19 plus 12 is 31, and so forth. So that is kind of how you'll find those arithmetic sequences. So this is what I was talking about. So if we were to look at this particular one, what I would do is say A sub 2. So my second term, which would be 5, is equal to 1 plus 1 times my common difference, which is 4. So if we figure that out, 1 times 4 is 4, and 1 plus 4 is 5. So this is true. So now we have this formula for any particular arithmetic sequence. So this is going to be really important for you guys to get down. This right here. This says that any term in an arithmetic sequence is the first term plus the n, and the n is right here, n minus 1 times d. So let's look at this one and try to find 43. So if we're looking at this would be that would be A sub 1, sub 2, sub 3, sub 4. So we are going to find A sub 4 is equal to my first term, which is 7, plus my n, which I get from right here, is 4 minus 1 times my common difference of 12. So if we do that, we are going to get 7 plus 4 minus 1 is 3, and then we have 3 times 12, so then we get 7 plus 36, and 7 plus 36 is 43. So that works. That is just to show you. So we were looking for 43 and we got 43. So make sure you get this in your notes. Okay, so now we're going to find the common difference for this infinite arithmetic sequence. Now it's telling us that it's an arithmetic sequence. If you get a question that says, is this sequence an arithmetic sequence? And if so, tell me the common difference. You're going to want to check more than one. But we can pick any two terms. So to find the common difference, we're going to take this one minus this one. So 223 minus 211, which is equal to 12. So the common difference is 12. All right, so now get this example. We are going to now find that given the things that we know. So it says we have a first term of 25. So a sub 1 is equal to 25. We have a common difference, which is represented as lowercase d, of 3. And we are looking for the 50th term. So my n is 50. So we're going to use the same formula. And I usually put d like that, just so I remember, because if I want to, I can put all of this in my calculator. So now I'm going to find what that means. So I have 25, that's a sub 1, plus my n, which is 50, minus 1, times my d, which is 3, right there. And then you can plug all of that into your calculator. So you can plug it in as long as you type it all out just like that, and I can show you that. So if you type this in exactly like this in your calculator, you can hit enter and you get 172. You can also do the math in your head if that's something that you want to do. Okay, so we have that it is, where it is, so this is equal to 172. Oh, my color changed. Fun. Okay, so now we're going to do this. Go ahead and try to do this example on your own before we do. But it says that Lisa has a glass jar in her office that she's going to use to collect coins. She starts by putting in $11.25. So our A sub 1 is going to be $11.25. Because she already has those coins and that's where she's starting. So our starting point, or our first term, is $11.25. She pays for her commute to work every day and receives 70 cents in change. And so she's going to add 70 cents to the jar each workday. So now we know that our common difference, what we're adding, is 0.7, 70 cents. And then after 100 workdays, she will take all the change and deposit in the bank. So we want to figure out how much she's going to have. So our n is equal to 100. So now we can just plug it in. So if we use our formula that we have been using, it will look like, whoops, that's a parenthesis. All right, so then we have a sub n, so a sub 100 is equal to my 11.25 plus 100 minus 1 times 0.70. And that is going to equal 11.25 plus 99 times 0.70. And then eventually we will get to $80.55. So go ahead and get that in your notes because you're going to need to want to practice that. All right, so now we are going to talk about how to convert. So in our Delta math, I had you converting decimals to fractions and fractions to percentages because we're going to do a lot of that. So a lot of times banks will give you, you'll be comparing different bank things and they'll give it to you in different forms. They'll give it to you in the form of like this mixed number here, or they'll give it to you in the form of a decimal. So when we're looking at that and comparing them, here's what you want to do. You're going to want to convert that fraction into equivalent decimals. So by doing that, you're going to divide this numerator by the denominator. So if you did that, you're going to have 1, because it's one part, and then you're going to get the 0.25%. The same with here. As you can see, if you divide 3 by 8, you get 135. So when we were looking at these ones, we could say, so this is actually 1.25%, and this is 1.375%. Now the thing that we want to do is add zeros so that they're all the same length. So we have this one that has 3 decimal places. We need to make the rest match. So this one would be 1.250%. The E Savings Bank would be 1.375. Oops, I forgot the 7%. This one would be 1.220%, and then the Land Savings Bank would be 1.300%. Now we can compare them, and it's saying if we were to write them in ascending order, so that means smallest to greatest, we are going to do that. If we do that, now we can do that a little bit easier. So when we look at these, I can see that this number is the smallest number. And so when we write our answer, we're going to write it in the original form. So Johnson City Trust was the first one. And then the next largest is going to be this First State Bank. So I'm going to write my answer 1.1/4%. And then my next biggest one is this Land Savings, and it was given to me as 1.3%. And then we have our E-Save Bank, which was the 1.375, but they gave it to me as a mixed number, so 1/3/8%. So this would be the answer. So ascending order means you go smallest to greatest. Descending order is greatest to smallest. So that's greatest to least. All right, so if you were, okay, so here's the answer. I already gave you. All right, so then I would like you to get this example in your notes. You are going to want to convert these fractions. So try it on your own, hit pause, and then you can check your answer with mine. Okay, so I haven't written them in descending order, but I did convert everything. So the two that you want to check, I did 5.667 because my largest decimal place over here was 3, and so I only wanted to go over 3 decimal places. And since this was 5.66666 repeated, I went ahead and rounded up on the last one. This one, only 3 decimal places again, was 5.05, I think it was 26, so I rounded up the 2 and made it a 3. So we need to be careful that we're rounding correctly. So if we're writing greatest to least, my largest one is going to be this one. So I'm going to write 5 2/3%. Then my next one is this one, and it was given to me as a 5.6%. Then my next one is this one right here, so 5.51%, and then we have 5.099%, and then the 5 1/19%. So that's something you want to be careful with. I think that was, yes. So there is a worksheet posted in Google Classroom. It's worksheet A. It says lesson 2.3 worksheet A. Go ahead and complete that, and then look for another video this afternoon or for Monday, and then you will complete lesson 2.3 worksheet B with simple interest. But I will be posting another video later today. So I hope you have a great day, and I will see most of you today in class. Have a great day.